Is that my cue, Bill?
Mm-hmm.
Thanks. All right, awesome. Hey guys, and welcome to Bill and Kate Thursday nights at Ask Bill and Kate Thursday nights at 8. I'm so sorry. I'm Katie Donnelly, and I'm here with Bill and Kate Hafer with the Hafer Group of 7 Classic Realtors. And let's not forget our mascot, Escrow. Yay! Hi, Escrow. Okay, cool, awesome. And tonight we have special guests. Well, I was going to try to remember and not look, but you see if I don't look, I'll mess up. So, Will and Melissa from FYN Hardscapes. And you can look at their website at funhomehardscapes.com.
Now, is it FYN or is it FYN?
It's FYN.
FYN Home Hardscapes. Okay.
But you can go to atlantacurbing.com also. So.
Huh?
You put FUN.
Well, I didn't mean to.
You can go to atlantacurbing.com. That makes it super easy. So.
Or FYN, not FUN. Sorry about that, y'all.
But they are fun.
Yes.
So they are fun. Yeah.
Very
All right. Cool. Awesome. Well, welcome. And can you tell us how y'all got into the concrete curbing business?
Sure. We were actually looking for somebody to do our landscape. And the only people we could really find in the area do just really low profile, solid color stamped, and that's not really what we were looking for. We had seen it online to where it looks like stone, and so we also looked to see if you could get equipment and rent it and kind of DIY it, and you really can't. So we began to think that it was really an opportunity for this area since it wasn't available, and kind of looked at it into it as a business, and kind of went from there and just started it ourselves.
That's pretty awesome. How long have y'all been in business for?
We've been in business for 2 years.
2 years. Awesome. I think that's great when you just take an opportunity and run with it. Usually people just sit on it. They think about it and they never do it. That's what I do.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, that's what I know. All right. Well, we've got some questions that have come through the week. How have y'all been, by the way?
Oh, good. Now, their information is there too, right? Did you see their phone number and stuff right there?
No.
We'll say it at the end too. Okay, sorry. Are those cards, maybe they're not in order?
Yeah, they are. Because I looked at them before we started.
Okay, all right, well, never mind. Well,
We'll get there.
You just forgot. It's okay. I'm going to say it. You want me to say it now?
yeah, go ahead and say it now, and then we'll say it at the end again too.
All right, so for those of you watching and y'all want to check this out while you're watching, they're atlantacurbing.com. Oh, and don't call them during the show, but their phone number is 404-480-0344. 404-480-0344. Sorry.
And it's also on the website. So
And
if
it's
you
on
go
the
to that
website.
website, then you'll be able to.
atlantacurbing.com.
Perfect.
Yeah. All right, cool. Awesome. All right, so here's some of the questions that we've had throughout the week. Trent from Sonoya wants to know, my wife is very interested in having concrete curbing as this is becoming a very popular thing here in Georgia. Will it keep weeds and grass from growing in our flower beds?
Yes, so having the concrete border along the edge of flower beds provides a hard stop between the grass and your actual bed, and it helps prevent the migration of the weeds and the grass from coming into the bed while keeping all your mulch and pine straw and stuff out of the grass.
Nice.
So
you won't need Roundup anymore.
Might need a little bit.
A little bit, but
we used a lot less this year
Yeah.
than any other time, so
Really?
it's worked out great for us.
And I know, like, with my flower bed, like, I've just got, like, that little black edging that you can just put in, it's super easy or whatever. And my grass is growing over it and trying to go into the flower bed. And it's really hard to pick because grass grows so deep under and all of those little, so that's annoying.
yeah, especially with the grass we have in Georgia, it likes to kind of try and migrate over and under, and then with having the concrete, it kind of kills that under it right there, but then it also is high enough and wide enough, it gives enough space for it to stop coming in the bed.
It just gives up, basically.
And that's what I was going to say. Our curbing, compared to some of those other solutions, like what you mentioned, is very wide and very tall.
Yeah.
So it makes it very difficult for that grass to
Yeah.
get in there.
All right, cool, awesome. All right, so Monica from Fayetteville says, the Moroccan stone that you guys use, can I buy individual pieces of that, or how does that work?
So unfortunately you cannot. When we lay the curb, it's one continuous pour, and then we use different techniques to form it and add seams and stuff to make it look like individual stones, but it all is one continuous pour of concrete.
And the reason that you want it to be that way is for the same reason that we talked about. If you have these individual pieces with big breaks in the middle, that's where the grass can get through. And then they can get moved and shifted, and then your mulch goes out. So you want it to be that one continuous piece.
Gotcha. All right, awesome. Thank you, Monica. Megan from Tyrone wants to know, the color that's on the stones that you have, is it painted or stained?
Painted or stained.
I know, it's painted, I know. Painted or stained?
So when we're pouring the concrete, we make all the mixes on site, and so while we're making that mix, we add a integral color, which gives you that base color. So we've got browns, grays, tans, and that's how you get that base color. And then we'll normally pick something on the house. Most houses in the area have like some stone or some kind of other color, or like the shutters will be a different color. And then we'll pick an antique release that goes on the top to kind of accent other things on the house. And that's where you get some of those other like highlight colors on top of the curb.
Do people do this in their backyard also?
They do. A lot of people, one of the most popular things right now is a lot of people are getting pools. And so they'll put it on the outside of the pool deck so they can create a bed around the pool. So it's not just like directly into the yard and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So.
Huh. Interesting. All right. Cool. Awesome. Thanks, Megan. Delilah from Peachtree City says, is concrete curbing expensive? I was just asking that in my head too. Thanks, Delilah.
It really depends on the job itself. Most jobs on average start around $12.50, and they can go up from there depending on the style, the size of the job, if there's any kind of like major preparation that we have to do. So it really just depends on the job, and that's why we give free quotes. There's no commitment. You can kind of see what your project is and how much it costs you.
So I have like wood planks, not planks, but they're like the edging, I don't know. But it's like, and I even stained it, and it's coming to pieces. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
What I use for a border. And so there's that too.
Is it railroad ties? Is that what you're using?
Huh?
Are you using railroad ties or some other?
It's smaller
like
than
wooden
that,
tray?
but this is wood.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, I think it's for that, and it was only done a few years ago, and it's already coming to pieces. So that doesn't work either. All right, cool. Kim from Newton wants to know, does concrete curbing crack?
Like any concrete, eventually it does start to crack. However, we do take some steps to help prevent cracking. So just like driveways, sidewalks and stuff, we'll put expansion joints in there, so as it heats and cools, especially in the winter, it starts to contract, and then when it gets warm again, it kind of expands again. So in those expansion joints, it'll crack in those expansion joints instead of like kind of right down the middle and stuff like that. But like any concrete, it will eventually start to crack. And we also do put a sealer on there, which helps protect it from rain, UV and stuff like that. That'll start to break it down, and so it does kind of lessen that cracking as well.
Okay.
And we also recommend having that resealed about every 18 months. And that's something that we offer as well, and contact our clients to have it resealed.
Yeah, it'll
Expand
just,
the life.
yeah, expand the life and prevent the cracking from happening any sooner. Yeah. All right, cool. That was it for the questions. It's all.
Well, yeah, we got a lot of pictures too to show that they're going to explain.
okay.
But I have a joke for you guys, so let's see if y'all can get it. All right. So why did the concrete worker quit his job?
Wasn't what it was cracked up to be?
Because it was too hard.
Anybody else? It kept getting harder and harder. Katie got it.
This is the second time I've gotten it, I
Good
think.
job.
Thanks.
And I didn't write it down, so I always have the jokes so nobody else has it, so that they can, really guess it in real time. So. All
Okay,
right.
so I'm going to switch the camera around to poke at the TV and show the pictures that we've got, and then zoom in a little bit.
So while you're doing that, I'll just mention the fun fact.
Okay, go for it.
Okay. All right, so here's the fun fact. Thomas Edison was passionate about concrete. He was so passionate, in fact, that he filed 49 different patents related to concrete. Okay, Thomas Edison, is that your guy?
Yeah,
I got that
concrete,
too.
wow.
Okay. I was scared to.
Now, if y'all need to get up or sit in a chair or something like that to see the TV, then
Okay.
by all means.
All right.
So the only thing that's on the screen right now is just the TV.
Okay.
So we can make faces or whatever, you know.
So if you guys just want to throw a few words at each of these projects or whatnot in terms of, you know, what they're all about and what was going on, that'd be great.
Okay. All right.
So that right there looks like it's the Tangier slate with a Atlantic gray base and then a charcoal release on top. I believe the house was like a white farmhouse style, and then they were gonna put those like the white gravel in there, and so the darker color to kind of match the house and then match some of the shutters that they have.
Yeah, it almost looks like logs in there that are beige.
Okay, this is another one that's, and these past two are like what you guys put in is what I like. It looks more like individual pieces of stone instead of just being the plain stamp. So you can see, well, it's hard to see there, but those are not individual stones, which is what the question was, like a lot of people ask. It has we use a tool that makes them look like the stone, and we put some of the expansion joints in there, but it is actually one continuous piece, so then that grass is not able to grow up in there. And I just love it because it just looks like it is rock.
I mean, it's a really neat process to watch happen. Is they just keep filling the container and moving the little cart, you know, dumping the concrete into the form that it shows up there. As they scoot it around and then put the relief marks in and the different stamps to make it textured. So it's really a neat process to watch. Oops, sorry, I skipped them by accident.
Yeah, and I liked that one. It looked like brick.
What's the time span that you'd have to get it done before it gets real hard where you can't make your design anymore? Is it like super fast?
15, 20 minutes at the most. If it's really, really hot, it's even shorter than that.
So you pour like little sections at a time, then get it done, and then more? Okay, gotcha.
When it gets really hot, you can still kind of put some in there, but if you wait too long, it starts to crack and stuff like that. It's just too dry, and it'll start to have like little stressed cracks on the top. So.
Got it.
And this is one that's a little bit more traditional, but it is something that we offer as well. So this is really just, it doesn't have any really texture in it, just besides the line to make it look like brick.
I like that.
I like them all. This is a lot like ours, right?
It's the same profile, but y'all's is more of a darker brown, and this one's more of like a tannish
Olive color.
color, and it's kind of, there's not a lot of texture, but it's more kind of rounded to make it look like
Different kind of rock, or
Yeah.
like a slanted,
Yeah.
like a slanted curve a little bit. And that's just total preference. Some people like them flat to look like rock. Some people like them more slanted. We also do offer the lower profile slant. We just, as much as we see people put like mulch and pine straw, you really want to, once you make this investment, you want that to stay in. So
Yeah.
we like the taller.
I mean, I think your mom's is
personally,
lower
so.
profile than what they do, but I like the bigger profile.
Yeah, I do
Yes.
too.
So we do offer that. As an option,
I
so.
just normally don't recommend it just for that reason.
I mean, our neighbors are like, oh my gosh, who did y'all's thing? So we've been throwing out your names to them, and they seem to really like it. So hopefully you guys will be getting a call from them.
Appreciate that. Yeah, awesome.
And so this one's right next to, it's like a kind of like a driveway liner. They've got a bed right along the driveway right there, and there's as you can see, it's kind of the brick look, but there is some added texture in there just to give it a little bit more depth, and it's not just the
Is that
smooth,
double
like, brick.
wide, or is it just the way the picture's taken?
It's just the way the picture's taken. It's the normal. So the base is about 6.5 on the back top side. It's 4.5, and it slants down to about 3.5 in the front.
Ah. Interesting.
And then we do offer some walkways as well. It's kind of the same mix, but we just form a walkway and then we'll stamp the walkway to make it look like kind of whatever. Normally people go for the brick, as that's.
Is it the same material, or is it but not the same pouring machine, right?
No, it's not the same machine. We actually will form that out and then do that.
And stamp it afterward.
But this pattern, and then we have a large stamp that looks more like a what would you call it, like slate rocks or flagstone rocks or something like that. Those would be the two most common type for a walkway like that.
That's really pretty. That's really pretty too. I like that.
And then, so we did this at the Veterans Memorial Park over in Noonan.
Oh, I love that. Love that color on there. That's my favorite.
That's a good
And
color.
at the memorial, they have like these big granite like slab tops there,
Yep.
and that's what we chose to go off of. So that's the pewter gray, again with some of the charcoal release to match that granite they had there.
Yeah, I think that's the picture that I used for the newsletter. Matter of fact.
And what you'll notice from looking at these pictures is that the possibilities are endless. Color, the texture that you want, the pattern that you want, the colors that you want on top.
So if somebody wanted like a wild color, like pink or hot pink or purple, whatever.
They're mainly in the colorways that Will was talking about. So browns, we've got several choices of browns, grays, reds and oranges.
There is one that comes out a pinkish color, but I would never do like a hot pink. That's
Like a movie star, Elton John wanted, baby blue and purple everywhere. Could y'all do that if they wanted different colors like that?
I think I'd probably tell Elton that. Trust me on that one.
You know what? I think Elton John probably out of anybody would be the one to do that.
Yeah.
I mean, you nailed it on the celebrity that would request that.
You'd have to figure it out, right? Well, you'd have to.
We'll make it happen.
This one is this is the cocoa brown as well, and we call this one like a random rock pattern, just because it kind of just looks like different pieces of rock that's been put together. It has a little bit of texture on the top as well.
I mean, I think the great thing about this is you can put it into any shape you want. I think there's a picture up here coming up here next that has a circle.
This is just, we did this for a lady. She actually had some done a while ago, and the company that originally done hers had gone out of business. And so she had some work done in the backyard. They had busted up the old stuff, and we were just matching what she had in the front.
And then she was going to come back in and kill the weeds that you see. So the top part of the picture is the back. She was going to kill all that and put down some landscape fabric and then put in some, mulch and stuff like that. So she just had us come in kind of in the middle of the project.
Got it.
Just one thing about with the circle, I just think that's so neat. You can just go around a tree or do whatever.
Oh yeah, I like that one.
So I will say the circles are my least favorite part of doing all this because it is very hard to do a circle.
That's what I was gonna ask. How do you do it and get it perfect? What is the process of that?
So we pour it out real quick and try and get a rough circle, and then we'll come through and we'll kind of push out and push in and try and get that circle. But for circles, it's all hands on deck. Everybody kind of walking around trying to get it to where everybody can agree whether it's pretty circular.
Do you put like a stake or anything in the middle with a string on it to kind of map it out?
No, not really. I'll paint like a circle around the edge and get it all an even length from the middle. But then it's kind of just pouring and trying to stay with that. And then, like I said, all hands on deck to
It's kind of like doing a tattoo, drawing it out and then filling it in, right?
Exactly. And then to go back to your question earlier, because we have that limited amount of time to work with it, right? So we've got to get that circle just right and then get the color on it, get the pattern on it before it gets too hard. So
Wow.
This one's actually one here in Peachtree City. He wanted something. He didn't want anything too ornate, nothing too busy, so he just simply went for Sahara sand, and then he had some stone on the front of his house, that was it had like an orangish, reddish hue, and then some black. So we just did a simple granite texture on there, and then came back with some of those accent colors and threw them on top to kind of match what he had.
So if you don't like the rock look and don't want it divided up, again, that's your preference. So it's totally, completely customizable.
Oh, these are different.
And so this one is, it's actually, there's no integral color. She was in a white farmhouse style and she wanted it to be white. And so we didn't put any integral color in there. And then we put the texture and stuff on there and added the seams, but she really wanted it to be simple, kind of white, but not just like slick, plain curving.
Right.
White.
And just have the rocks be the accent part. Focal. Okay.
And it looks, I don't know if it's just the way the photo is or not, but it looks like they're kind of a little slightly smaller in the center and wider on the outside. Is that true, or is it just the way the picture is presenting?
I think
It almost looks like each piece is an hourglass.
Oh, I think it may just be.
I think,
Yeah,
I
it
think
may
it's
just
the
be
angle of the
picture
picture.
because it's, yeah.
I'm sure you could come back and concrete stain them too, couldn't you?
Yeah, if you
Different
wanted
colors.
to do a different color and stuff like that, you can definitely come back and stain it. That's another one of the browns. It's just got a basic, kind of like a slate texture on the top, and put those seams in there. They didn't want real deep seams, so you can see those ones they don't go down as far, and it's just kind of set up to look like pavers.
And that we haven't seen many that are square, and so that's an example of one that is square on the top. And I don't know if you can really tell it from the picture, but I was on it.
No, it's
Okay.
Right now, this is actually one of the most popular ones. If people aren't doing stone, it's called Spanish single brick, and like I said earlier, it's not anything too overly ornate, but it still does look very nice. It's just a little bit of texture on there, and then every once in a while, or through a measured distance, we put the one brick in there.
So can you make it look like wood?
We actually can make it look like wood.
Oh,
We have a texture that we can put on there to make it look like
nice.
a tree.
And then you can go in, back in with a little bit of antique powder and like put your thumbprint to make it look like it's
Like a knot.
like a knot from a tree and stuff like that. So it's, yeah.
That is so cool.
Right. I think that's the last one.
Yeah,
That one looks square.
That's got a little bit of angle to it.
Yeah, that one's a slant.
I need y'all.
I think it's hard to tell from the angles of the
It is hard
pictures.
to
Yeah. So.
I need y'all to come out to my house. I want to know. I'd like to do it in the backyard where my wood is rotting. Yeah, that's cool.
I mean, I think it's great. You know, we saw something similar at your mom's house and decided we wanted to do it, and by luck, we found you guys on the internet as we started looking at it, and I mean, we couldn't be happier with the job you guys did for us.
Yep.
Thank you. We appreciate
thank
it.
Yeah,
you.
definitely. Right now, Bill's gonna turn back over to where we were before and finish up, and I've got a couple questions for you guys.
Hang on. Let me know.
Katie trapped herself.
Yep.
She's behind the camera. So, like, the very first job that you guys did, where was that at?
We did our house. It's the very first job.
What, so front and backyard, and was it just trial and error? Did you have to start over with some things,
No, it
or?
suck if you messed up because it's concrete, right? Like, I mean, you would really have to dig up what you did, right?
You do.
That one
It's
was-
really heavy, really fast.
Yeah, that one was a lot because I think it was the middle of July. We got halfway done, and then if you live in Georgia long enough, you know about the July pop-up
July,
showers.
Oh, yeah.
And so all of a sudden
yeah.
it started raining, so we had to scramble and put down plastic over the whole thing so that it didn't get ruined. That one was,
It was a good first test because
Yeah.
all the things that you could possibly, have happened
all
on a
pulled
job.
through.
It
Good
was
job.
good. But yes, we did a big, long piece of the side yard and all around the front. So we actually did a pretty big job.
So like when y'all did ours, now I don't remember, how long did this take you to do it from start to finish?
I think like 5 hours, 5.5 hours.
So y'all charge by the length then?
So that does play a factor. How much you get does play a factor. There were some. It also depends on like I said earlier, like if there's prep work and stuff like that. Because if we do have to come in and take out some where we can lay out the curb and stuff like that, that all plays a factor.
Yeah.
And a few other things like tree
Yeah.
rings, like he mentioned, tree rings a little bit.
Right, yeah.
A little bit more and things like that. So we
And then
can
the
give.
style as well
Mhm.
does play a factor.
And we've got some that's right next to the driveway, so that's a little bit of extra prep that needs to go on.
Right, yeah, because you had grass that probably needed to be like removed. Like you almost have to like make a planter, right? Like and get rid of the grass that's there.
Yeah,
Is that
so-
kind of what you have to do?
Well, so we have a bed edger, and so we kind of carved out or took out some of the grass and the dirt right there, so we could lay it right there
Yeah,
and kind of formed a new edge to that bed.
yeah. So what do you do if there's a root there, like a tree root? How do you get rid of it? I mean, you just chop it?
It depends on. So, like here, I think they had some trees removed, and so we kind of just took them out. Normally, if there is roots involved, I will recommend not to do it, just because you will see some you'll drive around and you'll see it all popped up and stuff like that, and it's from those tree roots. So it really just depends. I mean, you can either pick, you can keep the tree or you can get the curb. That's kind of what I tell people, because with roots, I mean, it's kind of inevitable that it will break it.
Yeah.
And
So-
the most case that you run into that are things like the tree rings, or if they're doing a lot of beds and the trees are, so maybe having to reshape those beds or making them bigger or something.
Make them
like
bigger,
that.
right.
So-
So you just have to, so it's, you know, not inundating the roots.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But for some of those tree rings, we normally make them large enough to where if there is some roots, like it won't really affect them.
Yeah.
So what I'm gonna do in the comments, I'm gonna actually take pictures of our front yard and put it in the comments so it stays on there too, because I just love it.
Awesome. Yeah,
I think it's-
looks
yeah.
great. So
When
thank
did
you.
y'all get it done?
How long ago was it?
It was
5 months?
March or April.
It was March. Because I think it was actually, you guys were actually our first one of the year, because it finally
Aw.
got warm enough to where we could do it.
Oh, so if the weather's cold, like what's the starting?
So, well, we're fortunate enough, here in Georgia where it's not always like super cold and super freezing, but if it's going to be down below freezing and stay that way for several days, we'll have to take some time. But I mean, we are able to pour into December and January, February. We just have to kind of watch that weather.
Got it,
Those
okay.
super freezing temperatures, we have to wait a few days. We just
All
don't
right.
want to risk it to crack.
Yeah. So what if it's been for like, you know, freezing temperatures for, you know, a long time, and then like the ground gets cold, but then like it starts to warm up a little bit. Like does the temperature of the ground make a difference, or is it just the temperature like in the air?
So fortunately, down here in Georgia, it doesn't stay below freezing
Right.
for a certain number of days. So the ground temperature never really gets cold enough to where that's necessarily a problem. It's normally just the air temperature.
It's the air temperature. Yeah.
Awesome.
All right, cool, awesome. Well, thank you guys for coming out. I
Thank
think
you
it's
for
awesome.
having us.
Yeah, that's awesome stuff right there.
So share the information again, if you could, Kate.
Yeah, it's on there.
I'll go ahead and do that though now. I'll do that. Hang on, let me. All right, so I'm gonna just kind of go all over the place here. So thank you. You had it out of order and typed.
I did. All right.
Yeah.
My
All right,
bad.
Because I would
bad.
normally say thank you to the guests before like wrapping it up. So anyways, all right. So again, this is Will and Melissa, and it's FYN Hardscapes. Now, what's FYN stand for?
Feather Your Nest is what it stands for.
Oh,
So,
cute.
yeah,
Feather Your Nest. I love it.
that's
Okay.
where it came from.
All right, cool. And their website is atlantacurbing.com, and then their number is 404-480-0344. And it's also listed on their website. And I'm assuming y'all have pictures on your website too.
Yeah,
And
so
all
all
that
of these
stuff.
pictures were on the website, and if you go to that website, of course, the phone number's on there. And if you're interested in a quote, we also have like a form that you can just fill out, and it sends us your information, and then we'll get back in touch with you.
And that's
So it makes it super easy, or
Yeah.
you can call that number, or you can even text that number and say, hey, I want a quote, and so.
the best way is to fill out the form though, because I get your phone number, your address, your email and stuff like that. So the best way is to do that, because then it also gives me a way to kind of see people's names and stuff like that as well. And so it's easier. It's more organized that way.
So, what is your turnaround time right now as far as like how fast are y'all able to get out to do quotes? I mean, because it's just a busy time of year probably for you guys, right?
It depends on the week. So
Yeah.
like Monday we had a rainy day. So on rainy days I normally try and get out and quote, but if we have a week full of sunshine, then it'll probably either be the weekend or maybe the next week after. And then our lead time right now for actually getting out and completing is about a month.
So y'all are busy.
The busy
That's
time
awesome.
of the year, which is great.
That is
So, but
awesome.
yes.
Okay, cool.
We try to get people in as quick as we can, so.
Yeah, isn't it just you two doing this, or do y'all have like a crew?
Yeah, it's me, her, and then I've got a guy that works for us.
You're gonna have to expand your people, your little crew soon. It sounds like. That's awesome. Okay. So for everyone watching tonight, please like and comment on tonight's show, and then also like the Hafer Group's Facebook page. From there, you can click on their website, sign up for Kate's weekly newsletter that goes out every Wednesday. And it's got all kinds of other fun information on there. And then, live webcams. I didn't look this week. I'm sorry. At least I'm honest. I'm not going to lie. I mean, so where was it?
That's okay. Thailand, just a beach in Thailand.
Did you see any I wonder if there's any elephants that kind of just randomly walk by.
I didn't see it. It's a.
You can ride elephants in the beach at Thailand. It's on my bucket list. To ride an elephant in Thailand. Okay.
There you
Anyways.
go.
See?
They definitely have them there.
Yeah, they do. And monkeys. Wild monkeys. Like we have squirrels, they have monkeys. That just steal your food and stuff while you're walking down the road.
Fun.
No, seriously. I saw it on The Bachelorette. When they went
I'll
to
tell you a
Thailand.
story after we wrap up.
Alright, sorry. I'm totally just expanding this. Alright, and then, so, hafergroup.com is their website. And then you can also call 678-628-KATE, and I have not given her that video yet.
You need to.
Hunter got a video for you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yay.
he did. Yeah.
I like it.
Yep. Alright, and so thank you guys again for coming out. And we will be back next week. Are y'all going out of town next week, or are we here?
We're leaving tomorrow morning, actually. I'm coming back on Monday.
Yeah, so we'll be here next week.
So we'll be here on Thursday again. Okay. So I'll be here also since they're not going to be out of
I'll
town.
be
Any
probably
trouble
remote on
birds?
the golf cart.
Huh?
Probably remote on the golf cart.
Next week, yeah.
Okay. Alright, let's not have any accidents.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I don't know why I felt like saying that. Alright,
It's okay.
so next Thursday night at 8. And in the meantime, if you need to get a hold of Kate, 678-628-KATE. And good night.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
See you guys. You have a story about monkeys?
Yes.
Wild monkeys?
Mm-hmm.
Have you met one before?
Oh, yeah.
I used to want to